Food is a natural human right. Yet, so many people are unable to feed their families with the current prices. That's why I visit my local food bank, and I encourage you to go to yours as well. If you haven't already looked, I have resources listed down below if you need a place to start. In today's video, I'm going to show you what I picked up from mine. My name is Carolina, and I live in Missoula, Montana. We are allowed to visit our local food bank once a week, and we are picking up for a family of 5. Ours is the type that you can shop and kind of pick and choose what you would like. I do have some footage of that in today's video where you'll be able to see what my options were, and then we're going to go through what I picked. Food waste is absolutely astronomical, especially here in the United States, and that's a real shame because you think of all the energy that went into growing, picking, transporting, putting out on the shelves just for all that to end up in the trash. So going to your food bank is not only to help you feed your family, it's stopping food waste from happening. All right, guys, let's get over here and I'm going to show you what I got. All right, they had a bunch of these cookies. They had Spider-Man one and then Yoshi, so every family was allowed 4. They had a big cooler of this in the extra, so the kids are really gonna like this. I noticed that there was a lot of Mario Galaxy like merch out for this movie. Like there was deodorant, Old Spice deodorant and stuff, and now cookies. And I heard the movie wasn't even that good. Have you guys seen it? Let me know if it's worth it. They kind of like have a mystery mixed bag kind of section of any random things that they had. So they had a big thing of Skittles. So I got 3 packs, 1 for each kid, or we might do something with them. And they also had some Pop-Tarts, Winco brand. You see how the box is destroyed? It looks like it got ripped right here. So they're unable to sell this in the store. However, the food is still perfectly fine. So this is the type of stuff that ends up at our food bank, is stuff that they can't sell at the store, or maybe the food's past the best by date, but it's still perfectly fine. So instead of the store throwing it away, they have the food bank comes and picks it up, and then people can choose from it. So it's really nice. We have a great system here in Missoula. We were able to get 5 drinks because of our family of 5. So I got 2 of these protein chocolate flavored organic protein shakes. I know they get these from Costco. I might actually start picking some of these up maybe. They are pretty high in calorie. They're 8 grams of protein to 180 calories. So 3 grams of fiber. I don't know. Maybe not so good. They seem like the theory's better than they are. And then anyway, I got a high protein shake here, cookies and cream. I'll probably just throw this in husband's lunch one day. And then they had some Monster. So I got 2 Monsters because I feel like a monster. Okay, enough of that. I'm too old to be headbanging like that. And then I was able to pick out a can of corned beef hash. Love corned beef hash in the mornings, really good. I have a video on how I did all things corned beef. So if you're interested in that, I'll have it linked down below. I do make corned beef hash, so it's super, super good. All right, and they had a bit of an extra bin, lots of stuff available. They had yogurt, so I got a big thing of vanilla yogurt here, Greek yogurt. I was able to pick out some feta stuffed olives. Those look really good. They also had some preheated or pre-portioned meals. This is Yolks is one of our grocery stores. We have 2 of them. Both of them donate not only their hot or cold deli food to there, but any food that is past the best by date as well. And this was originally $7.42 for this container, which I mean is probably like what one man's lunch would fill them up for a lunch thing, which it's under $10, which you can't really get much of the fast food anymore. But this is also just comes with it. You would need to get a drink. So I don't know. Everything's so expensive, even if you go to the store and try and get lunch from a deli, you know. And then we were able to get, look at this big bag of red onions. I gotta try and figure out something to do with these. This is another thing that Costco donates. Like their deli gets this in pre-portioned to mix for like their chicken salads or anything that they put out for the cold case in the deli. And if this gets past the best by date, then they'll donate the whole bag. So you can get like big containers of sliced lemons, of diced red peppers, of red onions. So it's really cool to see what kind of things you could get. They've also donated a 50-pound blocks of cream cheese from their bakery that was past the best by date, and they couldn't portion it, so they were literally handing out 50-pound blocks of cream cheese. Oh my gosh, I had to take the whole block. What a shame. There was also lots of produce available. They had a big thing of onions, and everybody was allowed like half a bag of onions. I think these are yellow onions too, so I was thinking I tried to get some big ones, hoping maybe I can make onion rings with these. We can do like a beer battered onion ring. I haven't made those at home before, so that sounds good. And then they had tons of apples. Everybody got a big bag of apples, and they're not all the best. Some have bad spots here that you can cut out, but the rest of them are still pretty good. I also have apples from last week, so lots of apples I need. You can make applesauce or something like that with them, but definitely got some apples to go through. Also, the kids love apples and peanut butter. I mean, classic, right? We also got lots of spinach and lettuce. I got a sweet butter blend. I got a big bag of Popeye spinach, and then I got a family size thing of broccoli and cauliflower already trimmed, ready to go. You can just microwave it or steam it, bake it, put it in a stew. Broccoli, cheddar, soup, yeah. And then also a thing of spinach. This is from Longstep Farm in Frenchtown, Montana. So this is a local farmer that bags this up, and usually they sell them at the farmer's market. And if they don't sell everything, then they'll donate all the leftover produce to the food bank. So it's really awesome to be able to benefit from local produce by being able to get it from the food bank. So we got this spinach. Like, just look at the difference of fresh grown spinach versus store spinach, you know? Like, it's just so much better. I'm sure the taste is better too. So 2 things of spinach, plus I was able to get a big bag here. I got some peppers. Like, here's a big green bell pepper. Look at this big one. Holy moly. It's almost the size of my face. That's a big pepper. And then I got some broccoli. This was before I saw the bag of broccoli, and a couple of carrots just to have some veggie variety here. I was able to pick out a sweet treat, and they had Costco apple pie. I'm sorry, but I can't turn down Costco apple pie. This is delicious. $13 for this huge pie. Although a lot of people go for their Thanksgiving pies, which, can you blame them? It's a big one and it's good price. So their pumpkin one, also good too. I'm looking forward to fall just for their pumpkin pie. So, score. They also had some cheese there, so I grabbed this beer-infused cheddar cheese. I mean, it's just like the, you know, it's not the best beer. This was like Blue Moon cheese. The next thing we got from the frozen section I was able to pick out was a 5.9 pound bag of frozen mac and cheese. This is one of the mac and cheeses that are on the hot bar, and they must have just emptied it straight into this bag and marked it for the food bank. So this is good that they also do like hot foods you can pick up. Last week I got a thing of chicken enchilada soup, so that's always an option as well. So it was really great to be able to get this. Sometimes they have chicken strips, and they're really good chicken strips too. So 5.9 pounds of mac and cheese. What are we going to do with that? I am going to thaw it first, just let it thaw naturally, and then we'll give that a try, see what we can do with it. I don't think being frozen is going to affect it too much. I was also able to pick out some different meats. So I got 1 pound of ground beef, and then also a package of chicken breast. It doesn't say how much it is, but I would say around 2 pounds, maybe 2.5. And then I picked out some chicken for stir fry as well. They had some different choices, but you know, you can never go wrong with chicken. So I was able to get that. And then lots of breads, always lots of breads there. I got 3 things of crispy English muffins. I make a lot of mini pizzas with this, so if it's something quick and easy, I'll just put like marinara sauce, cheese, pepperoni, or whatever, and put it in the air fryer. Bam, we got mini pizzas. So that's why, if you wonder what I do with all the English muffins, that's it. So I also picked up a keto, one of those, hamburger bun, which I was looking at these. They're actually not too bad. So it's 70 calories for 1 bun. You get 13 grams of fiber, and then 3 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of protein. So it's actually not too bad for a substitute for buns. And then I got these potato buns, which are 150 calories, 28 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of protein. So, you know, a little bit of a difference. Still got protein in there from the potatoes, though. And then also they have garlic bread. I did not know, I don't know why, but I did not know Costco sold garlic bread. Did you guys know that? $8, and these are baguettes, roasted garlic, and Parmesan cheese. So let's see what they look like. I'm curious, but I was waiting until I got home to show them with you so we can open them together because we're friends. Oh, so probably leftover baguettes that they have. Slice it open. Holy moly, it's legit roasted garlic. Oh my god. Up. Walla walla bing bing. Oh my gosh, these look so good. Okay. Well, that escalated quickly. Whew, can't wait to give that a try. I was also able to pick up a thing of Costco bagels. These are cinnamon raisin and 8 count. And then they had a loaf of sandwich bread. And then for the non-food items, they had animal food. Lots of times they'll have dog and cat food. Also usually donated from Costco from any of their busted bags. So I got a thing of dog food and a thing of cat food. Also for the bread, I got a pack of rolls. These make really good little sandwiches for the kids. I'll make like turkey sandwiches or like peanut butter and jelly. And they'll have this for lunch one day. So that's kind of what I use those for. It's a little fun, something different type of bread than normal sandwich bread.
A few moments later.
I wanted to show you guys what I did real quick with the mac and cheese. I just thawed it overnight and then I put it in a 9x13 pan. This is a stoneware pan. Now I thought that the brown chunks might have been like pulled pork or something, but that was just crusty parts that were on the edge of the pan from the hot bar. So that's what those ended up being. I am going to pour some milk in there just to kind of see if that helped bring it back to life. It did, so I'm going to pour a little bit more. You could also add like cheddar cheese or Colby Jack cheese or something to this as well while it's getting ready to bake, and that's going to add an additional like cheesy layer to it. But I didn't feel like shredding my block of cheese at the moment, so I just added milk and then spreaded it around, and we're going to throw it in a 375 degree oven. I like to do 375 when I'm cooking and roasting versus baking. Now I had these really big quarter-pound hot dogs I was going to add on top. I thought I'd do like 2 for everybody, but then it kind of just looked too crowded and covered, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do a few, and then I'll save the hot dogs for something else for later, because they were really big. We didn't really need that many anyway, and I wanted to actually, the mac and cheese to get a bit crispy and stuff on top. So I threw it in there for about 35 minutes and it came out looking perfect. I did end up mixing it around and putting it in for another 10 minutes, so that helped as well. I also rotated the hot dogs and had those cut up. I cut them with scissors. If you have not tried chopping something with scissors, give it a go. And it was actually really good. The noodles were a little mushy from being reheated so many times, but overall not too bad for a quick free dinner. Good morning, everybody. It is the next day and I want to show you what you can do with some apples to make a really tasty oatmeal. So this is a very budget-friendly meal that's kind of different than just normal plain oatmeal, right? So we're going to use some quick oats, some 2% milk, I got maple syrup, I got 2 apples, some butter. I also need some brown sugar and cinnamon. So we're going to be getting that as well. And we're going to start by dicing and sauteing our apples, and then we're going to make our oatmeal. So let's get over here and let's get to cooking. All right, I'm going to be using dark brown sugar because I got a big stack of them from when they were on a sale. So I'm going to be using that. Let's get our pan on. Let's do a 6.5. I'm going to put butter in it, but let's wait till we're a little ready. Let's peel these apples. I don't know about you guys, but apple skin cooked is not very good because the apple is soft and then the skin's still just kind of chewy. So if I'm cooking apples, I'm going to peel them. I learned that the hard way by not peeling my apples for an apple pie, and it was not very good. So texture matters and things, and I'm going to peel them. You can do this with any kind of apples. It would actually kind of be fun to do 2 different apples, so like a green apple perhaps and then a red apple, because 1, it'll add different flavor, and 2, they'll cook differently, so you'll have like a different kind of texture for them. All right, apples are peeled. Let's dice, baby. So I just kind of go around the core. If you get some of it in it, you know, you just trim that off. You can also cut out any bad spots if you see them. So kind of got big chunks here. You could also cut them in half that way. I'm going to try and keep them the same thickness though, so they cook the same. If you have them different sizes, then one might be mushier and stuff. I mean, if that's what you want to go for, so you have the different textures, that's a way to achieve that. Alright, let's get this tablespoon of butter in there. Get our first apples, cut our second. As you see, 2 apples made quite a bit. Let's make sure we get that flipped. breaking up any pieces I missed. Didn't go all the way through. Alright, let's add a couple of tablespoons of sugar here. I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons. And then we'll do some cinnamon. Last thing we're gonna add is some salt. I have coarse salt here, but it'll disintegrate into there. Okay, and then as that sugar melts, it's gonna form like this nice caramel. Now this only isn't good on oatmeal. Like this is a mixture. You can make a bunch of this and have extra. Like if you make this, you could put it in the filling for like a pie. You know, make your own kind of like apple pie or maybe a tart. You know, this is pretty much making sauteed apples, you know. I think at, what is that, Crackle Barrel? They serve fried apples like this. Alright, so we're just gonna let those soften and cook a bit. We could probably put a lid on it too if we wanted to put a lid on it. But I think we'll just leave them be for now. You could also put any kind of nut in here. That'd be good, pecans, walnuts, you know. Alright, we're gonna let this cook for a couple minutes and then I'll bring it back. Alright, I think I'm going to cover these like I was initially saying, just to get them, since they're bigger, a little bigger of a chunks, you know, just for a couple minutes. If you don't have a lid that fits, you can just use aluminum foil. Bam, you got a lid. So we're gonna let this sit for probably, we'll do 2 or 3 minutes and then we'll check it. All right, those definitely look softened. Got a nice liquid syrup. I'm gonna try one. Let's do a little one. Delicious. All right, let's pull it off. All right, now we're gonna use the same pan just to make the oatmeal in. I'm gonna measure so you guys kind of know what consistency you're looking for and what the measurements are if you're wanting to make the perfect oatmeal. So start with 2. We're gonna do 4 cups of milk because I got a pretty big crew. So you wanna wait for the milk to come up to a simmer. It's almost there. I'm gonna add 2 cups of oats. So you wanna add, it's like a 1-to-2 ratio. 1 cup of oats to 2 cups of milk or liquid, whatever you want to cook them in. You could just cook them in water too. Powdered milk works as well. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla here. And this should only take about a minute or 2 to thicken up as soon as it starts boiling some more. And then we're gonna add some butter and some maple. Butter. And some maple syrup. Oh. Butter. I can't forget the butter. About 2 tablespoons. They're gonna hear the cheek. What? They're gonna hear that. My mic. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. And some cinnamon. And some salt. Again, just a pinch. It helps cut some of the sweetness and kind of blend everything together. Sorry, we got a baby chick in the house right now. Some of our hens hatched them on their own. This one's got a wobbly leg, so we gotta take care of it. Mm-hmm. But the other ones are fine outside. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of let this come to a boil. Let's see the bubbles. Dun dun dun. You can see it's starting to thicken up, but we want it a little thicker, so we're just going to keep letting it boil. The reason why you want to keep letting it, because you see the steam coming up, that's the liquid in the oatmeal evaporating. So that's how you know that it's reducing and getting thicker, if you keep seeing steam coming up. That's why you don't want to put a lid on it if you're trying to reduce something, because it traps all the moisture in there. And when you're trying to reduce something to make it thicker, you want it to evaporate. So this is a no lid situation here. If we were like rice and you just want that liquid, you want the product to absorb the liquid, then you would add a lid to it. All right, let's give it a taste, see where it stands. That tastes really good. It's not overly sweet because we only used like about a tablespoon or 2 of maple syrup. I'm gonna turn it off because as I move, I can see the bottom of the pan. That to me means that it's thick enough. And as it cools down, it'll thicken up some more. Now, if I was serving it just as this, I would add a little more, either sugar, maple syrup, something like that. But since we have these sweet apples with some of that sweet syrup on there, that's gonna be enough to make up for the fact that this oatmeal is not gonna be super sweet. Which I know, not supposed to have sugar, but kids won't eat it. Can't blame them. You know, it's hard to eat just plain oatmeal. So let's get it portioned up. We do about 3 scoops each. I don't know if they'll eat it all. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and split it up between the 3 for the kids. And then usually whatever the kids don't eat is what I'll eat. And if they eat it all, then I eat something else. All right, let's get the apples on there. Yeah, and we'll put some of that syrup on there. That's gonna help some of the sweetness, and the kids will probably mix it around. Oh, look at that. This is gonna be my bite. Oh. I think this turned out pretty good. Let's give it a try. You can see the oatmeal thickened up. As it cools down, it will. So I got some of the syrup, an apple, and some of the oatmeal. Hot. That's so good. I think the last thing we're gonna do though is add a plop of butter. Just like a little plop right on top. So as that melts, it'll give everything like a coating of melted butter, and it just makes it so much better. And there wasn't too much fat in this, you know, too much butter, just for the apples. And then we'll kind of push it down in there and let it melt. Well guys, this is what we're having for breakfast. Thank you for coming along and checking out what I received at my local food bank. Please tell me a little bit about yours, what you get, if you're nervous about going, if you haven't gone in a while. I'd love to hear your experience with your local food bank as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.